For the very latest, we can cross to our senior reporter, Catherine Norris Trent, who's following the conference for us. Catherine, can you tell us more about the goal of this conference and some of what we've been hearing so far?
Hi there, Alison. Yeah, you heard President Emmanuel Macron talking there about the need for immediate aid, and that is very much what France and the other participating countries are pushing for here. They say, of course, Ukraine is already in the grips of winter, very low temperatures there with people suffering from power shortages and blackouts, and that they need help for its energy sector right now. So this is about, as Emmanuel Macron said, being very pragmatic and getting practical measures on the table and getting them to Ukraine very quickly. Participating via video link, President Zelensky said that Ukraine needs around 800 million euros in energy sector aid, emergency energy sector aid. So that's things like generators, transformers, and some money basically to keep the country from blackouts and from having things like water pipes freezing over. There are 47 countries attending today. The French officials have been keen to point out that it's not only European countries and the US and Britain, but also countries here. There are delegations from Gulf states, from India, from Indonesia and other countries in Asia. There isn't a Chinese delegation in attendance, though, but they are trying to widen this out as much as possible to try and provide a kind of united front, getting as much money and as much practical help together they can for Ukraine as possible.
And Catherine, you yourself have reported in Ukraine and you've seen the situation on the ground there. Just how dire are the conditions?
It's really hard to overstate how bad things are for people in Ukraine at the moment because the temperatures are freezing, there's snow and ice on the ground. They can get as low as minus 20 in some areas. Places that have already been badly damaged by bombing, and there's the continued threat, of course, of strikes from the air. This strategy that we've seen from Russia in recent weeks as they've been losing military ground on the battlefield. Well, they've been hitting infrastructure, many of which is leaving civilians freezing cold without light or power, and even access to things like food and fresh drinking water is incredibly difficult. In fact, some of the European countries here today are incredibly worried that there could be a second massive wave of refugees, as we saw after the start of this latest war in February last year. We saw millions of Ukrainians pouring out of the country. Well, there are fears that, again, perhaps hundreds of thousands of people could head out of Ukraine to try and survive the winter.
All right, Catherine, thank you so much for that update. That's France 24 senior reporter Catherine Norris Trent following that conference here in Paris on giving support to Ukraine.